Siren Radio.
Hey, how cool is that? Now, I normally do strange things on this programme. Last week, we were planting Newton sapling, weren't we, with the wonderful Andrew Hunter, he's a very senior member of this university, is Andrew Hunter. I would call him Professor DVC and all the rest of it. But he wields, apparently, a hedge trimmer with certain amount of flair and danger. Anyway, I have a wonderful guest and the reason he's here is because what you have to do as a journalist is you have to attract people by a good, strong, what we call a top line. So the story has to have... So this one says, afternoon, which was great because I read it in the morning, but never mind. I'm a hip-hop artist who studies pharmaceutical studies. There is no better way to start an email to try and get my interest. Leonard, lovely to welcome you.
Nice to meet you.
You have an absolutely fantastic name, which you were teaching me how to pronounce.
Yeah.
Leonard Osei Ampofo Ajapong.
Yeah. Yes,
now,
mouthful,
for the next 10 minutes, I can recognise Leonard, but in fact, even that is an anglicisation of Leonardo.
Leonardo, yeah.
Fantastic. So do tell me, where's your name come from?
Well, pretty much my name is like an explanation of where I'm from, really.
Brilliant.
So, both my parents were raised in Italy, and I was born in Italy as well. But both of my parents were originally born in Ghana, which is a small colony in Africa. It used to be a UK colony.
Yes.
And
perhaps you ought to draw a veil over that, the things we did in Africa. But yes.
It's fine.
Because you used British Guiana on the maps I had at school. British Guiana.
Yeah, and being Italian, when you're what they will call a second generation Italian, you get both of your parents give each of their surnames to you. So that's why the Ampofo is my mom's and the Ajapong is my dad's. And Osei is just what they'll call the Ghanaian version of my name. So there's a weird thing that they do in Ghana. So if, for example, you were born on Mondays, there's a specific names that's for that
Terrific.
day. So that will, in this country, you guys will call it like a middle name. But there is literally a name, but it just tells you what day you were born. So the Osei means I was born on Mondays. On Monday.
You are Monday's child.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
So that's where my name comes from. And obviously Leonard being the anglicization, if that's how you say it, of Leonardo, which is what my dad initially wanted to call me, being
Terrific.
born in Italy. But then my mom was like...
So how many languages do you speak?
So I speak in Italian fluently. I speak English fluently, as you can tell. I used to be able to speak French fluently. I've lost a bit of touch with it, but I can read and understand it quite well. And in school, I went to a private school, so I learned Asian, Greek, and Latin, which I can translate. It's a useless skill, but...
No, it isn't. I did Latin, stood me in great stead as a journalist, because it gives you a feel and sense for how words work and derivation and either Greek or Latin in derivation. Wow. And now this opening line, which I will read again for the listener, because they're going, what? For the last 3 minutes, we've had this wonderful whistle-stop tour of France, Germany, Italy. No, what about Germany and Ghana and all of that? But you're a hip-hop artist who's studying pharmaceutical studies. Yeah. Now, I go to our local pharmacy, and I look at the chap behind, or the woman behind, with the white coat on, duty pharmacist today. I'm sure they might like hip-hop music, but a hip-hop artist. Now, which came first? I want to be a hip-hop artist. I want to be a pharmacist.
I think they both came at the same time, really, because I've had an interest with biology and kind of, drug discovery and kind of trying to help my community for a long time. But at the same time, I've really enjoyed hip-hop and making music, and I've always been intrigued by how, I would hear a song on the radio and I'd be like, how do they make that? So they both slowly developed at the same time. The decision to do pharmaceutical science came to us.
Your parents said, you can do your music, but you've got to do something sensible.
Yeah, exactly. So it was using both, and I think that was the most sensible pathway that I could go. Because I initially started as a producer, and I produced songs, engineered songs for a band of friends that I have, and then I just randomly, one of the sound engineers in the studio told me, wait, I played in one of my songs kind of jokingly, and he was like, you're actually good, you should give it a try. And that's where I am. That's where Fantastic. I am now.
Okay, we've got a couple of examples which we'll play in a minute. Mm-hmm. If I was going to ask you to define what hip-hop actually is there a short, snappy way you could describe what it is?
I think it's just an outburst of thoughts and emotions onto an instrumental. That's the best way to put it, really. Which could be said for any type of music, but
rock, jazz. Yes.
I think the only difference
what makes hip hop rather than disco or R&B or something?
I think hip hop has more of an obsession with words play and word,
but it's not like rap
and rhythmic. It's not. So rap would be like rap is a branch of hip hop. So hip hop includes the dance, the production. Okay. So hip hop is the godfather of the scene, really, of the Afro, like even R&B could be classified as hip hop to some extent.
Really? Yeah.
And then rap, R&B, then street dancing. Those are all just branches of that main kind of family tree, which we will call hip hop.
Right. Well, let's hear what it sounds like when it comes out of your fingers and brains and all of your wonderful talent. Could you introduce the first track we're going to hear?
So the first track you guys are going to hear is my song called Kanye, which came out on my Sinister EP, produced entirely by me. And yeah, it's a good example of what my music sounds like, and hope you like it. I wanna grab me when I hit 20. Take a photo while I smile like, yeah, I'm Riri. To my mom, I made it without her help. Made my own place, but I'm not far. When I make it, my speech will be like tongue to Steve and mom, dad, and like when I was young, my dad said I wouldn't make it. I'm still broke, so I guess I fake it.
Changing all my flows, I feel invisible. I just wanna show you I can be Mr. Incredible. Writing rhyme screens in your cranium, singing black sheep in the stadium. That's my only dream, so here we go. Indigo dreams, poetry on a pedestal. I don't really see competition in my city though. Pausing and reflecting, murderous intentions. I'm clean every beat in the city, the confession. I wanna grab me from me, coming power like Kanye. Every album's a new wave, to the whole US rocking. I wanna grab me from me, coming power like Kanye. Every album's a new wave, to the whole US rocking. I wanna grab me from me, coming power like Kanye. Every album's a new wave, to the whole US rocking. With no painting, cause I'm tryna be the best, can afford distractions. And I'm 5'5", but hit your name part. Don't see high when the beat still slaps. Fast things flash, made a few things clear. You could diss me and I still wouldn't care. Rapping about rocks you don't share, huh? New jacket Moncler, 2K cash. Wanna buy a house for my mom with that. I don't get respect by my city, I'm the next up. Stop that, rewind that, I'm the only one now. At 18 I had more apples than times I slept this year. 2000 pages many, I got my tears. I'm dreaming of finance and better peers. Supporting my music while people cheer. Swinging like some chandeliers. I cannot call myself successful or real special. Let's buy a house in the hills with some music still plays in radios and craniums. I wanna grab me from me, coming power like Kanye. Every album's a new wave, to the whole US rocking. I wanna grab me from me, coming power like Kanye. Every album's a new wave, to the whole US rocking. I wanna grab me from me, coming power like Kanye. Every album's a new wave, to the whole US rocking. I wanna grab me from me, coming power like Kanye. Every album's a new wave, to the whole US rocking. I wanna grab me from me, coming power like Kanye. Every album's a new wave, to the whole US rocking. Kanye, Kanye,
Absolutely fantastic. I've been humming along to that, and I've been thinking, what does it remind me of? That was called Kanye, and it's by my guest at the moment, Leonardo Jose Ambofo Hajipong. And this is described as hip-hop, but there are elements of, as I was saying...
of other genres of music within it, yeah.
And I could hear in there, and you and I were chatting, I could hear North African... Berber, all that sort of stuff.
That influence, yeah.
Was that conscious or is that subconscious?
Well, with the production, because I think I always have two sides when I'm working. So when I'm doing the production, which always comes first in my music, is a conscious decision to pick some specific sounds. Like on Kanye, you can hear a sense that it's very reminiscent of that Northern African kind of sound. That was a conscious decision to take it.
Listening to that, I can imagine sitting in a bar with some tea, mint tea, and fantastic. Sorry, I'm dreaming. I'm aware.
It's fine. So yeah, that was a conscious decision to pick sounds like that because I always try to intake where the experiences that I've had throughout my life and put it together with the production that I make. Whereas with the vocal inflection, sometimes it just comes off natural and without too much thinking, really. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just my, my multiple heritage that I have that kind of spills through the songs.
And of course, you're fluent in Italian. Italian is one of the best languages to sing operatically because it's so romantic, it's round, it's rich, and it allows itself to express, even if you don't understand the words, what's being said, you can understand the passion. Whereas, if you were trying to do it with a German's much more angular is what I was trying to say. And it would not mix well with that lovely, warm, rich, beating rhythm that you've got.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's this weird feeling sometimes that I have, that sometimes when I do change my, my language and I do sing in a different language, which sometimes I do here and there in songs, my voice sounds softer and more clearer, if you can say that, in Italian rather than English.
And a lot of people, a lot of English opera singers will sing in Italian and they will sound better in Italian than they will singing with an English translation, which is really weird because you think it's their own language. But
I don't know why, but there's just this edge to it. Obviously, I'm not as vocally gifted as an opera singer, but it's just the tone of my voice sounds softer and less forced to some extent when I'm singing in Italian. I never actually thought about that. It just made me think about it now. And I was like, that might be actually why.
Could very well be. Now, you also had a family member in there right at the very end.
Yeah. So at the very end, when the beat drops in the outro, you can hear kind of like a female vocal chop, and that's my sister, my oldest sister, sorry. Her name is Lynette. She was 10, and there's kind of like a weird backstory to this. So I was playing her the song in my room after I had mixed it and mastered it, but there was still some pieces missing, and she kept humming this melody and singing the wrong lyrics to the chorus, which was hilarious. So I thought, I'll see what I can do with it. Recorded the voice, go ahead to sing, and then I re-chopped it and rearranged it. And then I think that brought the song really to life. It gave it that edge, because after I chopped her voice, I used the melody that she was singing to form that kind of Arabic synth, kind of Northern African synth that you hear in the song, which to me completed the song, which I always like when I can take people around me and take inspiration from them and put them into the music. It makes it feel a bit more personal.
The only thing I think it's missing, and this is only me, and I'm a Radio 2 music producer, so what do I know about hip-hop, is there are some tracks by Sting when he's used some of those wonderful free-form female North African singers who can put a really wonderful floaty top line. Yeah. And I could hear the contrast between you doing the that stuff and just
kind of harmonizing.
Yeah, but in a sort of distant ethereal area. So what do I know? You can tell me to shut up. I know nothing.
I mean,
I'm a church organist. What do I know about hip hop?
I do understand it's a fair criticism. And
it's not no. It was not a criticism. It's just that in my head I was adding things.
Yeah.
And I suppose you have to stop adding things, otherwise it becomes too cluttered.
To some extent, because being an engineer first, sometimes it's hard to fit all those vocal takes, because sometimes I'll have really 20 good ideas, but not all of them can fit in the song, or it just sounds like you're adding too much for the listener. But I think I never actually thought about that, but about adding like an actual female vocalist.
And there's a counterpoint to your voice.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I think the only reason probably why I didn't think about that is because...
Couldn't find anybody.
Exactly. It's hard to find people, being DIY.
3 o'clock in the morning, you're thinking, I've got an idea. I know what it says in my head. Because there's some brilliant stories about the way songs develop. I used to work a bit with George Martin, the great George Martin, the producer of the Beatles.
Yeah.
And he tells the story of Lady Madonna. Where dun da 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 da, really driving song, and they had an 8-bar bit in the middle. They wanted a sax solo.
Yeah,
and the story goes, and it may or may not be true. And they were recording at Abbey Road in North London, and the boys were saying, "I'm not going to try and do a Liverpudlian accent because I can't." They said, "We need something here, George. We need something here. We need a sax. I can hear a sax solo." And George just said, "Okay, we'll take a break. You go and do whatever it is you want to do," because they did all sorts of things during the break.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into that. George apparently jumped into a taxi, went to Ronnie Scott's, the very famous jazz club in London. Ronnie had just come off stage. It's something like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he said, "Look, can you come and blow eight bars for me?" And they were great friends. And he said, "Yeah, of course." Battered old sax, alto sax. So off he goes, Ronnie Scott. And he said, "Look," he said, "all you need to do," he said, "I'm really tired, just play me the track once and I'll blow over it." So he played him the track. And if you listen to Lady Madonna, and you'll hear this beautiful sax solo, and it was one take.
Really?
But it was just that inspirational moment. Now, with George Martin, he could go and get Ronnie Scott. You can't suddenly get some wonderful North African female. But as you say, it must be really frustrating when you can hear all these things in your head.
Yeah, but
and you just can't.
Yeah, finding the space and finding the people around you, really, because where I come from, there's loads of talented people around me who do help me, especially with like cover art. I do try to branch out to people and form those bonds, but finding a North African singer is kind of like a very specific niche. That's really hard to find.
But of course, we do have a music department just down this corridor with our friend Ed Wellman. And
that's
team.
One of the things I've been trying to do since I arrived at the uni. Obviously, studying pharmaceutical science as well.
Because that's a proper degree. Mum and Dad would say. That'll get you a proper job, but you could do all your other stuff when you want to.
I've been trying to get to know people who do specific stuff. I've been in touch with people who do photography and stuff like that. Try to branch my music out and kind of present it to other people and see what they can think rather than being my own little bubble.
We've got one more track to play in a minute. Just take us briefly through the process. Do you sit at a keyboard and play, like a piano keyboard, and play a tune?
Yeah, I have... Well, I did learn piano for a short time period, but I was way better on the drums, so I gave up. So what I do, I'll have my PC and my digital work station, and I've learned some piano chords and some piano rules.
So you can get yourself a basic riff.
Yeah, so then I'll start with a chord that sounds good to me. That sounds original, even though no chord is really original. Start with a chord progression, and then I'll just add layers on layers onto that until I have like a basic loop that you can tell chorus, this is where this comes in, verse, this is where this comes in, and then drums. And then I'll record my voice, do the verses and choruses. And as I'm mixing my voice, mixing the beat, I'll just add like random stuff that I would never think.
Like
this
your
is going to
go. Yeah,
like my sister.
The wrong chorus with the wrong tune, but it worked.
And then it worked. And then at some point, I'll find like an end point, which is kind of hard to tell. Where I go, right, this is enough. That's enough. That's the cut.
Stop fiddling. Step away from it. Yeah.
Because you don't want to overdo it. Because sometimes, starting, especially my first few tracks, being a producer, sometimes my beats would be like, "Oh, this is quite impressive for, because I started when I was 14. This is quite impressive for like a 15, 14-year-old kid." But I can't actually hear what he's saying in the song because he just overpowers his instrumentals with his voice. And over time, now that I'm 18, I've realized
less is more.
Yeah, less is more. Leave space for the actual vocals and the actual artist rather than trying to impress the listener by showing how all the crazy stuff that you can do with your gadgets and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a balance.
It's been a real privilege and pleasure to chat to you, Leonard. I can't wait to hear the next track. How does this sort of sync with your pharmaceutical studies? Because I'm assuming this is full on. I mean, the university runs a phenomenal pharmaceutical department, and now alongside the med school and all the other expansion stuff, we're very much medically on the map now. So I'm assuming it's full on with your pharmaceutical studies.
I think what they both kind of the qualities that help me in both is that I'm a very curious person. So if I don't know something, I will try and find out and try and link out to other people and try and learn off them. And then being creative, I can find like some weird ways to remember like patterns and stuff like that. Like I said, I've never been really good at piano, but I've learned weird patterns for like chord progressions and stuff like that. So I think that creativity and that curiosity that comes out of me help me balance both, really, and one helps the other, really. When I'm less creative and I need a bit of a break from music, I just study. Yeah. And when I need a break from studying, I just do music. So they balance each other. Yeah, they complement each other.
Oh, fantastic. It's been a real pleasure. This is not the last time we're going to have you on. I can tell you that, because this music is absolutely fantastic. We'll work together over the next coming weeks and months, see if we can get a programme going for you, because I think a lot of people will love this, and then you can generate some interest, and maybe other people send you the stuff that they're mixing and putting together, which would be fantastic.
I'm always willing to work with
Okay, we're going to play out with another of your tracks. If anybody wants to go to a website or something, how can they find out more about it?
So my main website, main kind of point of attraction is mainly my Instagram, which is Leo Ajapong. Now I know my surname is kind of hard to.
We need to spell Leo, L-E-O, so we can do that one, as in
and
lion.
Ajapong would be A-G-Y and then A-P-O-N-G.
A-G-Y-A-P-O-N-G. It's almost like it sounds, but the G...
the G and the Y, because in Italian we don't have a J.
Ajapong.
Yeah, so we need a G and Y.
Okay.
So that's...
So you go to your...
Yeah, I've got my... that's my Instagram, and I've got... You can always search me on Spotify, but that's a bit harder. It's better if you actually go onto my Instagram. I've got so all the links and stuff.
I don't understand the Instagram thing, because that's what I'm glad you said with the MP3s.
Yeah.
But they can find more about you and your music and stuff like that.
I'm always working on my music, always trying to improve and bring out new projects.
How long's your pharmaceutical course?
4, because possibly 5, because once I finish my bachelor's, I might do a master's.
Because I'm now hedging my bets here that we're going to have you on as a regular contributor with a regular program. So I've got you for about 5 years.
I'll be more delighted. I like talking.
Okay, here's the 64,000 lira question, if you like. Mm-hmm. Although people won't understand what a lira is, because you probably
currency,
the old currency from Italy. What would you do if suddenly one of your fantastic mixes took off and became a big hit, and you then got snapped up by lots of people to come and work with them and produce their music? Would you still carry on doing the pharmaceuticals?
I would try to balance both, because I do have a passion for both.
If Mum and Dad are listening, that's the best answer to have given.
I would try and balance both, try and get a working schedule around me, and then eventually, once I finish my degree, probably branch out to music more rather than pharmaceutical science. But I wouldn't think I'll
fall back on it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't like to waste my mom's and dad's in hard work money and then go, oh, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. I'll try and finish it, Mom, if you're listening.
Yeah, good. She will, because she'll pick this up on the podcast. Yeah. As I say, it's been an absolute delight to chat to you here on Siren Radio. As I say, this won't be the last time.
Hopefully.
We will work over the next few weeks and months and see what we can do, see how we can work it within your studies and within your wonderful music writing career. Would you like to introduce the track we're going to play out with? So
the next track is my latest track, which is Nina. It's a bit different from Kanye, a bit more melodic, a bit more somber in vibe. I hope you like it. And yeah, that's Nina by Leonard. Now, leave you the song.
I hate my job and I hate my boss. I just met Nina, that's my summer love. But my life's a mess, broke up with a text. The motive I feel, I don't wanna rest. Conversation with myself and trying to get somebody's help. I'm contemplating everything, I'm paranoid, so I hold the stake. Life goes by, I'm getting to know the devil sitting on my shoulder, telling me I can't rely on no one, I apologize. Need to go up and get some peace. Mom, be telling me insecurities made me weak. Effective levels out to reach. Close myself inside my room. Imagination took me to concert. Monsters, cars with some chauffeurs. Solitude with revenue is what I'm tasting as I'm new. Big hits make a crowd speechless. Off from my hit list. Growing older, I'm getting wiser now. I'm still knowing her, but all because I am. Yes, I hate my job and I hate my boss. I just might bleed now. That's my summer love. but my life's a mess. Broke up with a text, la motiva via, I don't wanna rest. Yes, I hate my job, and I hate my boss, but just met me now, that's my summer love. But my life's a mess, broke up with a text, la motiva via, I don't wanna rest. I'm depressed as hell since my album sales failed. Haven't been well, took some L's and then fell. I'd rather die than be broke, don't wanna be no homo. I slept sometimes on the floor, in council houses for sure. That made me angry and bitter, I'm chasing all of the glitter. And turn me into a singer, I'll never smile in a picture. Cause I'm hungry for more, I want the fancy Dior. So I just know I'm not poor, a little so I just want more. If I'm not successful, I don't wanna live. Shopping on my pencil, run my own list. This my story, alright, the end. Throw my life away just to get a Rolex. Yes, I hate my job, and I hate my boss, but just my Nina, that's my summer love. But my life's a mess, broke up with a text, la motiva via, I don't wanna rest. Yes, I hate my job, and I hate my boss, but just met me now, that's my summer love. But my life's a mess, broke up with a text, la motiva via, I don't wanna rest. Yes, I hate my job, and I hate my boss, but just met me now, that's my summer love. But my life's a mess, broke up with a text, la motiva via, I don't wanna rest. Yes, I hate my job, and I hate my boss, but just met me now, that's my summer love. But my life's a mess, broke up with a text, la motiva via, I don't wanna rest. Yeah, my mom, and my mom, I need
Oh yeah, this is Siren Radio 107.3.